back to Wells of Happiness Media. My name is Victoria Chakwambabali, and I'm so delighted to have a wonderful young man here with me. And I'd like to have him introduce himself and tell us what his name is and tell us who his parents are.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
My name is Wilberforce Kyagulanyi. I usually go by Wilberforce or Muzei. I have many nicknames. But my parents are Wilbur Mukasa Bugembe and Mary Namuga. Yeah.
That is so beautiful. So tell me, Wilberforce Kyagulanyi. So Wilberforce, force of course is force, right?
Yeah.
So who do you get your name from?
So Wilbur, I'm actually named after my dad. So my dad is also called Wilbur. That's his first name. But Wilberforce is like it's a name that I grew up with. So even in like primary school, like I always went by Wilberforce. My report cards were in Wilberforce. My exams were in Wilberforce.
Yeah.
Like I always thought my name's Wilberforce.
That's interesting.
Until I saw my birth certificate, I'm like, oh, like my name is Wilbur.
Your name is Wilbur.
Yeah.
I think when I first met you, you introduced yourself as Muzei.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, how did he get this name Muzei? So tell me, how did you get Muzei?
So my last name, Kyagulanyi, is also my grandfather's last name.
Oh.
His name is Kyagulanyi.
Okay.
So because my first name is my dad's and my last name is my grandfather's, you couldn't really call me either name.
Right.
Unless you put respect to it.
Oh, that's...
So, might as well call me Muzei.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because when you think of it, that's your grandparent, and you have such actually a strong name, because you have both your father and then you have your grandparent.
Yes.
So that's Wilberforce. And I guess that's why we're here today, right?
Yeah, that's why we're here. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. So tell us, Wilberforce Kyagulanyi, where did you go to school, and tell us what did you do?
So, from what I remember, I don't remember like the preschool I went to, but I remember the name. But I went to Kazo Samiti. It's in Uganda. It's in Kazo. And then that's when I went from from nursery to primary 7. And then from there I went to Kawempe Muslim Secondary School. And then I only went there for 1 year for senior 1. Then after senior 2, I went to Caltech, and I was only there for 1 semester, and that was the beginning of 2016. And then the second, it's called term. The second term I did not actually attend school, and that's when we moved here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, how has that transition been coming from Uganda and coming over here to the US? How was that?
Like academically?
Yeah.
It was very interesting. Like getting here, like, so I got here in 2016. We got here in around September, but I didn't start school until October. So like when I went to school, I was technically 1 month behind everybody else. In 9th grade. But it was interesting because like the Ugandan system was technically ahead of it. So when I went to the math classes, it was like revisions. People were still learning about x plus 5 equals 7, like find x, and I'm like I've been doing this is P7 work, Like coming from Uganda, I was in senior 2, but they were doing like P7 English, and I'm like dang, like this is easy,
right?
But then because I was like 1 month ahead, I kind of struggled to like catch up the first semester, and I got the first D on my report ever in my whole life, and I made sure it was the last one.
Yeah.
My dad was pretty mad.
Oh.
And, so I made sure that was going to be the last one. That was like that first semester was the last time I ever had a D or a C in my whole life, and even up to college.
That is.
Yeah.
So I think it may have been challenging, of course, for you. You were transitioning,
Yeah.
And I think as a parent, he wasn't happy about it, and of course he let you know. But look at how you managed to handle that and
Yeah.
also knew and learned from it, because he did know that you had the capability to make it. And he knew you would eventually get to where you are now. So it's those, things like supporting you and getting you to where you are, and challenging you also. In as much as you were moving from Uganda to here, there were certain things that were easy for you and some things that were hard.
Yeah.
So if you think of the things that were hard for you, what were those things like when you talk about subject wise?
Um, like subject wise, like not specifically subject, cause like I had this in me, like all the classes were doable. There wasn't like a single class that I felt like I could not do.
That's good.
I think one of the struggles I faced was English. Like coming from Uganda, I was very insecure about my English.
Right.
Like you don't want to speak in English. It's like it may not sound good. So
yeah.
like I kind of had I kind of struggled in that, but thankfully my school had like a program where you could like learn English. It's like it was called the English learning. It was like systems.
Yeah.
But just like learning English and really fighting to speak better, and because I used to stutter a lot.
Yeah.
But just like fighting to learn English, and then when the second semester came, like I had code on. I was able to understand what the teachers were saying, because the English was really it was really different. Like you could not understand whatever they said. You would just like sometimes guess.
Yeah.
Or just like use context clues and your intuitiveness to figure out things.
Yes.
But I can't I can't really think of like any subject. I'll say if there's any, I'll say epiphysics.
Epiphysics. That seems to come up quite a bit now. I think you're the second or third person saying that.
Yeah, once upon a time, I tried getting college credit.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm a senior. Like, I'm gonna be a senior. I'm gonna take one epi class. I'm gonna do good in it. But I ended up failing the epi test. But I ended up doing physics later in college.
Yeah.
When I got to university.
Yeah.
But high school was it was fine. Like, like I like to say it was way easy.
Yeah. Where did you go to high school?
I went to Overland High School.
Overland High School.
Aurora,
Okay. Yeah.
So coming from like the strict Uganda, academic curriculum, getting to the United States where like teachers are literally begging you to do your homework.
Oh.
Like you don't have to worry about like getting punished and all that stuff. Like it was definitely like it was a good transition. I'll say like I was a little bit ahead like mentally. I was more mentally prepared than this my peers that I went to high school with.
So it had to take discipline on your part, regardless of the fact that there was that change coming from Uganda and where they're very strict with schoolwork, and then coming over here where they're not. You knew why you were there, right?
Yeah.
And you knew what your parents expected of you. So in a way, it looks like your culture really and the support of your family at home really pushed you to get you to where you are, so that you were able to go to to go to high school, and be able to attain that, and then move on to going to college, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Culture definitely was a big impact, especially like high school. You don't pay anything; it's free education. So, because like from Uganda, like you see how people literally fight every day,
yes,
to like pay their school fees, and like you are here in America, like you have the opportunity. It's free.
And then
like
you're gonna
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then the other thing was like I wanted to do my best so I could get scholarships to go to college, because I was always looking ahead. I'm like, if I don't do good, like I might not be able to go to college.
Right.
So there was that. And also like all my other brothers that my siblings that had already graduated out of high school. So like I also had to do it because of that.
So you're number what in your family?
I'm the sixth.
You're sixth. Okay, that's interesting. So then, where did you go to college, and what did you study?
So graduating 2020, I went to CU Denver, and I started in CU Denver, and then that's where I finished. I actually like only applied to one to one university. It was only one.
Yeah.
Like it was a clear shot.
Yeah.
I was like, God, like this is the one I'm gonna go to.
Did you feel like you just applied to one just because you just wanted to apply to one, or because you just weren't familiar with the whole process?
So I was familiar, so I looked at a lot of colleges. So because I knew what I wanted to study, I knew I wanted to study architecture in college. So when I did research, like which universities actually do architecture, there was only one university,
and that was CU.
And that was CU Denver. That was the only university who could get a bachelor's degree in architecture. And then it was also the only accredited degree of architecture in the whole state of Colorado. And so if I did not, so I only had one school to go to, and so I only applied to one school. And thankfully I was able to get in.
You came in swinging, like I'm gonna go for this one and I'm gonna get it, and boom, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you do a lot of designs and plans and things like that since you're in architecture?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done multiple designs. I've done. So I actually started architecture in high school. Like I took this one architecture class, and I was able to design a whole house.
Oh.
And I was like, dang, this is actually fun,
Yeah.
So like I had always had inspiration.
Yeah.
Inspiration from like construction, inspiration from like city planning.
Yeah.
Even when I got to the US, like just seeing how the city is built, I'm like, damn, I really want to like learn how to do this. I want to do like a replica of this city, like somewhere in Uganda.
Yeah.
It was like a big push. So initially I wanted to do like city planning.
Right.
But then after like taking that class, and I was actually playing a video game when I made my final decision that, I'm gonna do architecture.
Yeah. So have you drawn any plans and people decided to build their homes out of some of those plans that you've made?
So I've done school assignments. I've done like a pavilion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done a pavilion. I've done a gazebo. I've done 2 museums. And
what state?
In Colorado.
No, you're kidding.
They're not built yet.
They're not built yet.
They're not built yet.
I'm excited when they do tell us, so we know. Oh, Mr. Kyagulanyi has his signature on it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Does that mean I get a family discount if I need a gazebo?
We can talk about that. We can talk about
I'm trying to throw things in here. Why, so that I have proof that you said yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to design better. I want to really, before I do personal
right.
Personal designs for people. I want to be really very, very confident and really skillful in the software that I use.
Yeah.
Because every single day you learn a new command, you learn a new way to design. I'm like, wow,
yeah. But that's so beautiful, Wilbur. Because I mean you're doing architecture, but I'm looking at also things like outside, backyards and things like that. If you have your own house, there's so much you can do with what you have.
Yeah.
Of course, architecture is one of those things that we grew up hearing, because my father used to talk about some of the best degrees to get, and that's one of them that used to pop up for most parents in Uganda.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very sure that your parents are super, super proud of that. And doesn't your dad do this kind of work in a way?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my dad was also inspiration because he does remodeling.
Yeah.
He does he owns a remodeling company, so he also in the field of construction. Like even in Uganda, he used to build up houses, apartments. So construction is it's not really new.
Yes.
I was saying in our family.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I was also inspired from him doing the construction. Also, my older brother wanted to do architecture, but he ended up switching to civil engineering.
Civil engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you can work hand in hand.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Oh my God, I don't even know. I'm so proud, to see all the great work that you're
Oh,
doing.
thank you.
Do you really feel that this is it for you, or do you feel like you're going to go back and, go back to college, or are you going to work now, or what are your plans?
My plans for now, like, I'm gonna work at least 2 years
Mm-hmm.
before I decide to go back, for a master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Cause one thing I realized is, from like my internship, you could learn a lot from the
Mm-hmm.
job, and like you could always learn a lot from the job, and I'm now fully certain to
Mm-hmm.
like to do a master's. Like I could do a master's, in a different field. It doesn't have to be architecture. If I
Mm-hmm.
want to specialize in maybe like materials or like assembly
Mm-hmm.
or sourcing, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I'm still exploring options. I'm still seeing what's really out there. So I'm not really gonna commit to a specification or
Right.
like a master's degree before I really see what's out there.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. So I maybe would like to ask you a question. If there is anybody out there that has struggled with school, and even before I ask you that question, so are you going to school and also working at the same time?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
How
yeah,
was that?
you have a choice. So I started working when I was still in high school,
Mm-hmm.
when I was a junior.
Mm-hmm.
So my first job was McDonald's, of course.
Flipping burgers, huh?
Yeah, even
Yeah.
before that. So when I got here in the U.S.,
Mm-hmm.
like there's you realize the need for money.
Right.
My dad was working so much, so I didn't really like want to ask him for money to buy my own clothes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I started like cutting people's grass, like knocking on people's doors, like
Oh,
can I cut your
nice.
grass? So I did that, and when I was like 15 until I was 16, and then when I was 16, I got my first real job at McDonald's. So
Mm-hmm.
so my junior year in high school and my senior year, I was working while also doing school.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to school, and then from like 5 to 9 p.m. I used to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually helped me a lot because when I got to college, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
So I was always working.
Mm-hmm.
There was hard times. There was but I was able to go through it.
Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of discipline to do what you have done, and you continue to do this so well. So I feel that in as much as you've gone through some of these being in school and of course working, there's so many people who do that, but some people are able to do it and some do not. So if there is a person that's out there, colleague or anybody that's going through a situation like what you had to go through but were not able to attain their bachelors, what would you tell them to encourage them?
I would tell them. So one thing I'll tell them is like perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
Is like perseverance builds character, and one thing I really understood that like when you read James chapter 1 in the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
it talks about you gotta persevere through hardship,
Mm-hmm.
and then that perseverance builds character.
It does.
So when you every single time you face with a hardship, it's a time for you to like really like reinforce your character or like rebuild it or get it better. Like hardships are always gonna come. They're like they're unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say I really just gotta trust in God and like really pray. Like I'll say prayer like it's one thing that really gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Like Matthew 7 tells me like, hey, if you ask, you're gonna receive. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
God, help me go through this class, help me pass this class.
Mm-hmm.
Next class, like God help me, God help me find money.
Yeah.
And I was able to find money for school.
Yeah.
Semester after semester, semester after semester. There's times when classes got really hard, but I'll say like one thing you gotta do is like don't give up. Just keep on pushing, even when you feel like you can't take it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If God put you into it, He's gonna take you through it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you
Yes.
just gotta really push.
Preach.
You know?
It brings me to a reminder of this verse that says, "Ask and you shall receive; seek and you shall find;
Yeah.
knock and the door shall be opened."
Yeah.
How has faith helped you in your journey to bring you to where you are here?
like a lot. You know, even when I was still even when I was still in high school, like, you know, I wanted to go to college, but I didn't really have no money. Like, I literally had no money. You know, my dad wanted me to go to community college, and he's like, you know, go to CCA, it's cheaper, you know. And I'm like, nah, like, I really, you know, like, I want to study architecture. I don't want to do some, like, you know, random major. So I was like, you know, just reading the Bible, like, you know, I just like trusted God. I'm like, you know, like, I'm just like leaning on your word.
Yes.
You know, I'm leaning to your promises. So I was like, you know what? I know I'm gonna go to school. You know, I kept on praying it. I'm like, God, I'm gonna go to school. So turns out, like, I got like an envelope in, you know, in the mail, and it's like, oh, you've been given a scholarship. And I'm like, oh, thanks, God.
Wow.
So I was able to get like my whole first year was like free.
No
you know?
way.
Yeah. Even after the first year, you know, I was going, I'm like, okay, I know you gotta start paying money. And then, you know, just like, just keep on just trusting God continuously. It's not only a one-time thing; it's just continuously. Like every semester, you know, I had to figure out to get like the next 8,000.
Right.
You know, it's like May. You know, you're gonna start school in like August. You got like 4 months, and you need 8,000. But also you got bills to pay. You know, in the middle of that, so you're like, what do I even do now? You know, but you know. God always provides, you know.
He has provided.
So there was so many open doors that came through.
Yes.
So definitely faith was my faith was like, I guess, like the biggest contributor to it. You know, like I was in classes. I took classes that, you know, like I knew I was gonna fail, but I was able to pass them, like, you know, with the A.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, like. Yeah, I've been through, like, you know, situation where impossible, like as you see me, like, you know, I'm pretty black, right?
Yeah.
But like, I see you, Denver, like when I was in school, like my architecture classes, there's like classes when I was the only black person in there.
Oh wow.
So then I'm like, yo, like, you know, if I don't, the other guy who was there, he had failed the class like twice, and I'm like, damn, like, this guy just failed the class twice, you know. So those are like the pressures of, like, you know, keeping the stereotype, like, I gotta fight the stereotype here.
Yes.
You know, so there was also that, but it was a lot of multiple ways. You know, my faith took me through stuff.
Yes. Oh my God, this is such an inspiring story, and I am so inspired by your faith and your resilience and all your hard work. And I'd like to congratulate you,
thank you.
Wilberforce Kyagulanyi. Hey?
So all my names.
Yes. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you so much.
We are so very, very proud, and keep shining that light and fighting and standing for what is right, and believing in God and trusting in Him, because He will get you so far in life. I'm sure all your parents and your family and your siblings are so excited, you know, for you. And we pray that God continues to guide you and see you through. And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for coming to Wells of Happiness Media and sharing your story. We're looking forward for what you have in store, and may God richly bless you. And we'd like to thank all our viewers for Wells of Happiness Media. Thank you so much. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, or like. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you so much.